two is that if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go. So if you want to go fast, you go alone. There is no sprint above 200 meters. There is no sprint. In sports, there is no sprint above 200 meters. It is 100 meter sprint or 200 meter sprint. When it gets to 400, it becomes a relay race. When it gets to those that go 2,000, 5,000, they don't sprint. No human can sprint for 5,000 meters. That's 5 kilometers. No human can sprint. You are not a car. Alright? So, anybody that wants to go very fast, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go with others. Number 3 is that your network determines your net worth. The kind of people you keep around you will determine your net worth. Your net worth. How wealthy. People are measured in. So the next one is, I will use the next point to explain what I mean by your net worth is your net worth. People should be able to boast of both financial capital and human capital. So people are measured in their financial capital, by their financial capital and their human capital. So your network determines your net worth. How many people remember that how many people know $1? And it's almost all of us know. You know that he sold Fort Oil. One of his biggest investment was Fort Oil. Yeah. Yeah. But he sold it some years ago. But he's still a billionaire because of the caliber of people around him. Again, Dangote's. When I don't know influence, everybody's looking at me. Eh? Tony Element, thank you. These are the kind of people around. So your net, there are persons. Listen, one of the things with network is there are people you will take a picture with today. Your Facebook friends is 15. You have 15 Facebook friends. There is a picture you are going to put on your Facebook, and in 1 week you are going to have 1,000 Facebook friends. Yes. Because of your network. Your network. People will. That's why you see when celebrities visit a place, some people will be struggling to snap with the celebrities because they want to use them and get something later. They want to show that we are friends. You know what it means? At least I'm not alone. I have one celebrity's phone number. Nobody just phone number. They talk to them one-on-one. He's a movie director. He's a producer. At least let him not look as if I'm just like that. So your network is your network. Finally, men are made and not necessarily born. So it means what we are saying by this is any skill or quality in life can be learned with consistency. Men are made and not born. It has been a debate over time. Are great men born or are they made? Great men are made and not born. Why? Even if someone has a talent, hard work will always beat talent if talent does not work hard. Hard work always beats talent when talent refuses to work hard. So it means men are made and not born. Next slide, please. So let's look at the misconceptions I was talking about on the subject matter of relationship. Number 1 is when we say relationship, please disabuse your mind from talking to the opposite sex. You know, when we're talking this relationship building, we're talking about it's not boyfriend and girlfriend relationship building, or it's not dating. That's not the relationship I'm talking about. Okay? When we are discussing the subject matter of relationship, has nothing to do with your ability to toast a guy or to receive toasting from a guy, whether you are the toaster or the toastee. It has nothing to do with being the toaster or the toastee. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2 is that another misconception is that when people have conflict, it's a sign of a bad relationship. Conflict is not a sign of bad relationships. So that you have conflict with people does not mean you should end that relationship with the person. Okay, sometimes it is both of you understanding yourselves on different points. If I write the number 6 on this table, that's a very easy example. If I write the number 6 and I ask you, what's your name, sir? Umar. And what's your name, ma'am? Khadija. Okay, so if I write the number 6 here and I tell you to stand up, what you're going to see is number 9. Am I right? Yes. So what you're going to see is number 9. And what I will see is 6. And so when we begin a conversation and I tell you what was written on the table is 6, and you will tell me what was written on the table is 9, we can have conflict about it because you're not agreeing with me, I'm not agreeing with you, but it's not a sign of a bad relationship. Sometimes what can end conflict is proper understanding. So conflict is never a sign of a bad relationship. Number 3 is that relationships must always be rosy. It's another misconception. Relationships must not always be smooth. For you to call someone a friend doesn't mean both of you have never had a conflict at all. Both of you have never had a disagreement. So those are the people that are your fantastic friends. Your fantastic friends are those that you have never had disagreement with. That is a misconception. Number 4, because of our time, is that extroverts build the best relationships. That is another misconception. That extroverts, you know what I mean by extroverts? Alright? Extroverts build the best relationship is another misconception. We can call them, you can call them misconceptions or you can call them fallacies. Okay? They are not true. That's what I mean. They are not true. Extroverts do not necessarily build the best relationship. So let's go to the next. And I have this quote from Gracious-Esther that you only ever have 3 things. Number 1, yourself, well-being and mindset. Number 2, your life, network and resources. Your life, network, resources and resourcefulness. Number 3, your reputation and goodwill. You must treasure and tend the first, that is yourself and well-being. You must value, support and build the second, that is your network, resources and resourcefulness. And you must mindfully, wisely ensure that the third is always in credit. So these are 3 things that you have. Let's move to the next. So we have 3 types of relationship or 3 types of network. We have our vertical or upward relationships, we have our horizontal relationships, and we have our downward relationships or network. Our vertical or upward network, our horizontal network, and our downward network. So every man has these 3. Nevertheless, what happens with some people is that they always focus on one. Most people focus on one of these, focus on building one of these types of relationship, and it's either an issue with their mindset or because they have not known. One of the things I was talking to someone recently is that you cannot punish someone for an offense if you have not taught the person. Am I right? Yeah. You can't punish someone for an offense for something that he or she has not been taught. So the first is our vertical or upward relationship. This is the relationship you have with persons that are better or higher placed than you in one area of life or the other. Relationship we keep with are people that are better than us, people that are highly placed than us, okay? People that are wealthier than us, people that are better in academics than us. The relationship we keep with our lecturers, as the case may be, our elders. For some of us in the religious faith, your leaders in the religious faith, this is a very important relationship. And what we can term this kind of relationship is mentorship. Okay? It's mentorship. It's one of the relationships that you must not joke with. Mentorship. We don't have, our subject matter is not on mentorship, so I cannot go into detail on mentorship. Nevertheless, nobody can go far in life without a mentor. You can't go far in life without a mentor. Even as young persons. Mentorship shortens your success journey in life. Mentorship accelerates or shortens your success journey in life. So a mentor is someone who has experienced or is experiencing what you want to experience. A mentor is someone who has experienced or is experiencing what you want to experience. Several times you hear people make comments like, I have a mentor. Who is your mentor? Bill Gates is my mentor. That's trash. Okay? Your relationship with your mentor must be tangible. It must be a tangible relationship. So there are two kinds of relationship with mentors. Some people have relationship with mentors where they digest every written material of the mentor. So somebody can say, Kawasaki, what's his name? Robert Kawasaki, that wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, can take him as his mentor. And because you know that Mr. Robert has poured out his mind in all his books, you decide to digest all his books so that you can have his mind. That's one pattern to mentorship. Another pattern is to have his contact. The mentor knows you. You, the mentee, knows your mentor. And the mentor knows his mentee or her mentee, as the case may be. So our relationship with upward network is a very important relationship that we cannot joke with in life, because they shorten our success journey. They shorten our travel time. You learn from the people always say experience is the best teacher. That is when it's not your own experience. Are we together? Experience is the best teacher when it is not your own experience. In my undergraduate days, we had, before we got into my department, 300 level first semester in my department was called GP reductase. That's what we call it. That's your GP must come down. And that's what everybody had known. When we came in, they told us, no matter what you do, your GP must go down in 300 level first semester. And we agreed, and our GP went down. But when we got to 400 level and understood what the mistakes we made, we saw that, okay, we paid attention to our biochemistry courses and refused to pay attention to the borrowed courses. So we told our junior ones that this is what you should do. And they did it. And for the first time in over 30 years, some people's GP went up in 300 level first semester. Because experience is the best teacher when it is not your own experience. So you cannot joke with your upward network, because they are the ones that they have the experience that will guide you so that you don't make the mistakes they made. Number two is your horizontal relationship. And this is with this. And this is with peers and persons in the same category. That is the relationship you keep with your classmates, your age mates, as it were, your neighbors that you grew up together, and things like that. These are the kind of, this is the horizontal relationship you keep with people on the same level with you. On the same level with you financially. So when you are broke, you are broke together. When you have money together. Alright? This is horizontal.
This one is only now.
This relationship cannot drive you up, but can sustain you.
Okay.
This horizontal relationship cannot push you forward, but it sustains you where you are. People borrow yourself money. When you are broke, you run to this person, he gives you money. When he's broke, you give him back. I borrow you, you borrow me. When I have, you come and eat. When you have, I come and eat. This relationship cannot push you forward, but can sustain you. I have a friend of mine like that in Port Harcourt and in Logoja, 3 of us. Anytime he's broke, you call me out. I was talking to some people yesterday. And we have a slang. When he's broke, anytime we are broke, we just call him. If I call him and tell him that the worship center has been destroyed. And the worshippers are looking for where to worship. When I give him that slang, he will know. But sometimes, if I call him, or if he calls me, he just start singing, my helper, oh, my. So I will know that he's broke. So we exchange, give him 3K, when I'm broke, give him 3K. This kind of relationship can only sustain you, it cannot push you forward. The relationships that can pull you forward is a vertical relationship. They are this relationship, this horizontal, even though I say it cannot push you forward or sustain you, it is a very important relationship. Horizontal relationships are very important. Why? Because they provide support when you are discouraged and shoulders when you are down. It is your horizontal relationship that will provide support for you when you are discouraged. It is your horizontal relationship that will provide shoulder for you to cry on. If you have a kind of now, you're not going to go and call your mentor to tell the mentor that you failed YAP. When I wrote my YAP, I entered, I wrote my YAP with so much pride. Let me use pride. Self-confidence. And self-confidence is not pride. I entered YAP board with the mentality that I cannot read an exam and fail that exam. And then YAP now hungry. I pass everything, they gave me P7 in English language. English P7. And then Popsy now told me, my late dad now said, let's wait for NECO. So, because I didn't want to combine results. YAP and NECO when you are submitting results. I wanted only one. So Popsy said, let's wait for NECO. When NECO comes out, I'm sure you'll be cleared in NECO. NECO now came out. I had C4 in English and D7 in maths. So up to today, I'm combining the two of them. You understand? Now, that's not the story I'm going to. After my YAP and NECO came out, Popsy was like, you still don't want me to combine results. So then they're going to register for NECO GCE. At least so that I can write one exam. My boss trusts me, they trust my academic progress. Let me just fall their hand. So I should write GCE, be sure I will clear it. And I went and bought GCE. I went in Zaria City. And I was, in fact, that GCE, if I enter hall, I will finish, paper of 2 hours, I'll finish in 1 hour. And now start giving, you know how GCE, those that are writing GCE, you know that GCE is elders that used to write GCE. Old mamas and papas. So when I finish writing my own, I now have to help my fathers and my brothers, give them answers. In my mind, I don't clear the GCE. Guys, my papa died, you don't see that result. Even up till now, my mother has not seen my GCE results. When the results came out, I wrote 8 subjects instead of 9 in that GCE. When I checked, I had to check the registration number to be sure that they didn't print, they didn't send somebody. I still feel like they send another person results for me. That's what I feel like. Because I cannot, it's not possible. I cannot have 4 E8 and 4 F9. What happened to the people here? 4 E8 in 8 subjects, 4 E8, 4 F9. And now, so what let us hear on this? When you have those kind of things, the people you call to mock you or to shoulder to cry is your horizontal network. They are the ones that are your support system. So let's go back to my 300 level again I was talking about. So my 300 level I was talking about then. In my 300 level first semester, I told us all of us our GP went down. But it's not like our GP went down by the same. I still came second in class. Because my GP went down by 0.29. I didn't come second. Some people's GP went down by 0.8. And anybody in school, when your GP go down by 0.8, you are changing class. Most times you change class of degree. From second class upper, you are going to second class more. So one of my friends, my friend in Port Harcourt talking about, he was in 4.4. That was his CGPA, N3 300 level, 4.4. When first semester results came out, because somebody else was the one that checked my result, I said, how far? I said, guy, you had carryover. I said, it cannot be me. Check. They checked, there was carryover, no complaint. I just, manage myself. So when I called Chibi, I said, guy, how far? You don't check your result? He said, yes. How your result? I said, guy, the name of my result was Cecilia Ibu. That was the heat of Oceanic Bank. Those that remember Oceanic Bank, Cecilia Ibu and her problem. That was in the heat of that thing. So I asked him, how far your result? He said the name of his result is Cecilia Ibu. He even named the result. He said the name of my result is Cecilia Ibu. I said, what happened? So when we got to school, I understood. He didn't have a B. He didn't have an A. He didn't have a B. We did 12 courses. No A, no B, no D, no F. All the courses in there, C, E, C, C, E, 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 C, C, E. So because of the C, E, C, E, we plenty result. He named the result Cecilia. When we got to school, he said that my back between I said the 4 from 4.4 to 3.6. So these are the network, the horizontal network are the people that they are your body bearers. So you need them. Alright? Now the final one is your downward relationship. These are relationships you keep with people that you are higher than. And this is where charity comes in. Alright? This is the role of charity. Now this relationship is very important because it attracts God to you. Now whether you are, no matter your faith, we believe in God. And your downward relationship is very important because it attracts God to you. Permit me to quote from one of the places in the Bible that says, anybody that gives to the poor lends to God. So when you are mindful of your downward, no matter the economy around you, you must be conscious about keeping downward relationships because it attracts God to you. No matter how you are, you must learn to give to people that are lower than you. Alright? So let's move to the next. And that is the skills for building relationships. So there are 7, but I don't talk about the 5 major ones here. And I will I have to read a book for this. I read a book for this, so you can go back and see. The book is online, it's available online, so you can download and read the book. The Art of Connection. That's the title of the book, The Art of Connection. And you will see the 7 skills for building good relationship. The Art of Connection, written by Michael Gelb, G-E-L-B, The Art of Connection. Okay, so I'm going to run through this very fast. The number 1 skill for building a relationship is embrace humility. Humility is the source of genuine strength and confidence, so we must cultivate it. One of the skills for building proper relationship is that you must embrace humility. You must embrace humility. You must bring yourself as low as possible. God hates proud people. And proud people do not go far in life. And proud people cannot keep good relationships. So number 1 is that you must embrace humility. And in embracing humility, it also means that you should be accessible. Some people are not accessible. Some people are not accessible at all. You carry a straight face every time, and people are scared of meeting you. People are scared of talking to you. Some people are not accessible. So you must be accessible. Number 2 is embracing humility also means that you must be available. To build a good relationship, you must be available. You must be available for people, available for yourself, and available for people. To build a good relationship, you must be available. You find people that want to build, you are doing some things with someone, or you are keeping the friendship, but you're not available. Every time the friend wants to, every time somebody is coming to meet you, you're not unavailable. You are like Paul, that once they try your number, always unavailable at the moment, try later. Alright? So you must be available. It also means you must be approachable. You must be approachable. That's what I'm just explaining what it means to embrace humility. You must be approachable. You must be open. You must be present, and you must be responsive. You must be open, you must be present, and you must be responsive. You must cultivate the art of conversation. This is also humility. Don't keep yourself too high. Cultivate the art of conversation. When you go for, I've always had problems with people that go for conferences and you don't meet any new person. It's terrible because you don't cultivate the habit of conversation. You go to places, you just maintain the old people that you have known. No. It's an art. Conversation is an art. You must learn it and cultivate the art of conversation. Meet people, start a conversation with them. That is building relationships. So these things, like I said, we are not born with it. They are something that you can learn with consistency. Number 2 is be a rare listener. Be a rare listener. People, this another fundamental statement is that we must listen to understand and not listen to respond. One of the problems people have in building relationships is that they listen to respond. As people are talking, your body is itching you, you want to talk. You want to respond to the person. Somebody is saying something and you have not even understood where the person is coming from. You want to respond very fast. The word is here. It's as if it's choking you, as if your throat is choking you. You want to talk, you want to talk. To build good relationships, you must listen to understand. Empathize. Listen to understand before you respond. Don't listen to respond. Some people go for meetings and they say there's going to be question. Meetings like this, seminars like this, and at the end there will be question. The only thing they are thinking of is the question they are going to ask. Immediately the first speaker starts, they are just looking for where, just say something so that I will write the question down. They are just listening to respond, but we listening to attack. So when you listen, you must listen to understand. So one of the skills for building good relationship is your ability to be a rare listener, because people are attracted to people that listen to them. Men are attracted to people that give them listening ears. If you are someone that don't give listening ears, people will run away from you. If you are someone that gives listening ears, people will want to talk to you. So you must be a good listener. Number 3 is achieve the 3 liberations. And I'm going to tell us what we are liberating ourselves from. To build good relationship, you must achieve 3 liberations. That is, achieving these 3 liberations means you must consciously break free from these things that bind people. Number 1 is freedom of likes and dislikes. You must achieve liberation. And number 1 liberation, that number 1 freedom is freedom from likes and dislikes. To build good relationship, you must trash that likes and dislikes. When you meet, sometimes you meet people, you know it used to be a trend. You start chatting with somebody. The next thing is, what are your likes and what are your dislikes? Nonsense talk. Let's trash that nonsense of likes and dislikes. So somebody now says, one of my likes is this. Then if that thing is your dislike, then you have ended relationship with the person. Does somebody understand what I'm saying? If your like is the person's like, then both of you will bond. If your like is not the person's like, your dislike is the person's like, you now hear people say, we are not compatible. Trash. So you must break free. Number 1 liberation you must achieve is the liberation of likes and dislikes. Number 2 liberation you must achieve is the freedom of taking things too personally. You must achieve freedom of taking things, break free from taking things too personally. Sometimes in building relationship, people are addressing a circumstance, but because you take things too personally, you think they are addressing you. You take everything personal. Somebody is addressing something, but it is you. That's the problem we have in politics now. If somebody starts talking about bad in Nigeria, everybody in the government will now say, you are talking about ABC. So you must learn to be free from taking things personally. Know how to remove yourself from things. And number 3, because of time, the 3rd thing you must break free from is freedom from blaming and constant complaints. Blame game. You must have freedom to build good relationship. You must break free from the blame game syndrome. Every time anything happens, you're looking for who to blame. You don't accept responsibility for anything. You don't take responsibility for anything. You're just looking for who you want to transfer the blame to. Both of you are trying to do something, and the thing gets bad. You are looking for who you are going to blame. You must learn to take responsibility. All right. Number 4 skill for building relationship is to transcend fixations. And what I mean is avoid stereotypes and typological assessments. If you are going to build good relationships, you must avoid stereotypes and typological assessments. Avoid stereotypes. To build good relationship, you must transcend. What we mean by transcend is go above fixations. People have stereotypes. When I wanted to get married, one of my aunts, I told her I'm getting married. See, where is the person from? Say from Kogi State. Big tribe, Igala. Hey! Igala people are diabolical. They like to die. And I was asking her that day, I said, how many Igala people do you know? How many people have done probability and then, well, not probability, what's the topic in mathematics? Sampling. I think. I was asking her that day, so I was asking my aunt. I said, how many Igala people do you know? She said, I've lived with them. When I was in Nuba Mali, my roommates were Igala people. I said, okay, one. Let's assume there are 5. So I told her, I want to assume, I know you have not. I want to assume that you have met 1,000 Igala people, and you have lived with 1,000 Igala people in your lifetime. Igala nation in Nigeria are more than 5 million. So 1,000 divided by 5 million, your sample size is still very small. So what is your basis of judgment to say Igala people are diabolical? You know plenty stereotypes, I mean. Igbo people love money. Igbo people love money. Yoruba people are bookworm. Now that one. Yeah. They are what? They like pepper. So that one is true now. Is that one is stereotype? They actually like Alright. Yoruba people are dirty. Hausa people are Fulani people are wicked. These are stereotypes. Oh, I don't see one Fulani here. It is not touch out. It's not. So what we're talking about is stereotypes. Alright? You must go above stereotypes. So you see, and this is what people fail to marry some persons. You know, we just say this tribe are terrible people, so we don't marry them in our town. In our village, we don't marry Yoruba people, we don't marry Igbo people, we don't marry Fulani people, we don't marry. I was discussing with someone recently, and I was talking on something like this in a place, and the person now asked me, say, you, what of your daughter now? If your daughter bring a Fulani man, will you marry? I said, me that marry Kogi State. We now stop my daughter from marrying Fulani. I don't have any legal justification now. Because before you do that, you must have married from your tribe. Me, I don't marry from my tribe. So I don't have any legal justification to stop anybody, not just my daughter. I cannot even stand on the plane where anywhere people are discussing marry your tribe, I cannot be there. You understand? I've left that WhatsApp group because I didn't do it. So we must avoid, because this can be a hindrance to building relationships. When you meet someone, you have met as a Hausa person, you met an Igbo person, and you are doing business, or you want to start a business with the person. But because of the stereotype, in your mind, you're already thinking, when will this person cheat me? Because Igbo people love money. When will this person cheat me? Once the person tells you, I bought this thing, 1,000 naira, you will call 5 people to confirm if it is actually 1,000. So we must avoid these stereotypes. Avoid it. You must transcend it. Go above it. Interact with people as humans. One of the best people I've met in my life, I always tell people, one of the best humans I have met in my life is from Borno State. She is one of the most intelligent people. In fact, in the top 10 intelligent people I've met in my entire life, Vicky is part of them. I still talk about her till today. I met her in 2016 or 2017. I was coming back from Akure in a bus. She just finished camp in Akure and she will be deployed to Kano. So we entered the same car coming to Kaduna and we sat together. In fact, sitting itself was first an issue because I wanted to sit by the window. But when she said she wanted to sit by the window, I said, go and sit down. And we sat down. From Akure to Kaduna, we didn't sleep. We had conversations from Akure to Kaduna. 10 minutes into the journey, we started talking. And she is one of the most intelligent humans I've met in my entire life. See, we talked about Nigerian politics, Vicky Sagem. 2016 was during the American election that brought in Donald Trump. Yeah? We entered American politics. She was very knowledgeable about American politics. We went to basketball, very knowledgeable about basketball. We entered football, I'm not saying knowledgeable, very knowledgeable about football. We went to, and the emphasis is on very. Yeah? We entered religion, very knowledgeable about the Bible and the Quran. Wow. Anywhere you see, carry the conversation, enter any quarrel. Vicky is there waiting for you. Had knowledge about everything and anything and everything. And that was in the journey. I told myself, if I lose your contact, man, waiting cause am. Say, if I lose this friend, make am waiting cause am. Until today, she's married in Abuja. Very knowledgeable. And when she entered, I would have said, like we say, no, I'm talking about avoiding fixations. I would have seen her as a Muslim because she, even though she's a Christian now, she's from a Muslim background. Alright? And she dressed like a Muslim. And me, I'm a Christian. I would have entered the bus and say, she's a Muslim. So make she sit down one side. You don't allow our body to come. And I would have lost. And when she was telling me how she started this kind of, she's a voracious leader. Reads every and anything. And she told me of a friend she met in Unimed. That one of her friends in Unimed was a medical doctor. And he was in 300 level in medicine. So one of the days he was having a conversation with his friends. And they were discussing which course is more difficult, medicine or law. And the law student was saying law is more difficult than medicine. And he was looking at the law student. What is inside law? When you say law movement. And because of that argument, they finished. He told the guy, I'll prove to you that law is not more difficult. He was in 300 level medicine. And maybe they finished. He went out and bought JAM form. Wrote YAP again for art courses. Bought JAM form and entered, got admission to study law. And was doing medicine and doing law. And graduated as a medical doctor and a lawyer. So he is barrister, doctor. All in a bid to prove to somebody that medicine is more difficult than law. So now, she told me that not a far person, she showed me the person picture, that the person has graduated as a medical doctor and was inducted as a medical doctor and has gone to Nigerian law school and graduated as a lawyer. So he's a barrister and a medical doctor. And he reads everything. So he was the person that influenced her to start reading everything. So if I want to talk about basketball now, I can call her and say, what are Lakers doing? If I want to talk football, strong Madrid fan. You want to talk anything, she's there. So if I stereotyped her and refused that relationship, I would have missed that brain that she has. Alright? So finally, it is balance energy exchange. That's another skill. We must balance our energy exchange. What we mean by that is your feedback to people. You mind the kind of feedback that you give to people. You must manage expectations. And what we mean by manage expectations from people is promise low and deliver high. To build a proper relationship, promise low, deliver high. Never promise high and deliver low. Never ever promise high and deliver low. Always promise low and deliver high. Your feedback, like I said, your feedback to people must be smart. And what do I mean by smart? Some of us have had smart goals. But this is what we mean by it being smart. One, it must be specific. The S for smart there is specific. Your feedback to people must be specific. What we mean by specific is address the problem. So you have had an issue with someone, and instead of coming to address that matter, that issue both of you have, you lump everything. You are a very rude and disrespectful person. That is, you are not making your responses smart. And it can crush relationship. It can crumble relationship that you are building with someone. If someone is rude in a particular situation, you need to be specific about your response. Mr. Jonah, your response to Esther on so day was not right. It was rude. Other than Mr. Jonah, you are a very rude and disrespectful person. Does somebody understand the difference? Yes. You understand what I'm saying? So your response to someone must be specific. Address the matter and don't lump things. Number two, M, it must be monitored. That's what M stands for. Your response must be monitored. So when you give a response to someone, monitor the person's reaction to that response. You must monitor. So if I'm telling you about late coming. Monitor the person's reaction to late coming. Is the person still coming late? If I'm talking about nonchalance, monitor the person's reaction to nonchalance. Is it improving or is it decreasing? So that's what we mean by your response must be smart. A, your response must be actionable. A is actionable. Your response must be actionable. It must be things that people can improve upon. Like I said, when you say someone is, you are nonchalant, you are rude, you are a very stupid person, how do I become less stupid? Does somebody understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So teach me how to become less stupid. Teach me how to become less rude. So it must be actionable. R, am I right? Yes. R is that it must be respectful. Your response to people must be respectful. It is not what you say, it is how you say what you say. How you say what you say is more important than what you say. How you say what you say is more important than what you say. So your response to people must be respectful. In building relationships, you must add the ingredient of respect. Because how you say it is more important than what you are saying. If you come and you start nagging, people will not respond to you. People think that, like one of our speakers was saying, people think that by shouting, people will hear you because you are shouting. No, it's not by shouting. So how you say must, and then finally, it must be timely. T here is timely. So you can, anything that happened in January should be addressed in January. Not addressing what happened in January in November or in October. And people are habitual. People have this terrible habit. They keep nursing matters. It crashes relationships when you nurse matters and don't address them timely. You keep them and keep them and keep them, and then it look like where you are pouring water inside a cup. Have you seen that kind of thing before? Okay, in our secondary school, let me end with this. In our secondary school, we used to do what we call chesting of cane. How many people they do it? They do it, they still they do it until now. They still they do chesting of cane. They know they flog again. They still they flog. They know they flog again. They used to flog now. Sometimes. It's not like every time. Not talk about teacher hear them. Every time. They are sergeants for flogging. So let me end on this note, okay? So I'm talking about, I want to end with timely. What I mean by it is timely. I mean it must be timely. So when in our secondary school then, every offense now flogging. I went to a boarding house, so it's not now. This one that I saw somebody stood up and came back. You stand up and come back, they'll flog you. We don't have time. You understand? All these one people are. This one, I'm not saying do they flog, people are saying sometimes. There is no sometimes. In my secondary school, it was every offense is flogged. They will flog you, then advise you after flogging you. You understand what I'm saying? They would have flogged every offense now 6 strokes. You fly out your shirt, 6 strokes of the cane. You wear bedroom slippers, 6 strokes of the cane. You talk during assembly, if it be 12. You talk during church. One of my hostel master, we carry cane and flog you on your lips. I'm not joking with you. At least I have witness of people that went to the same secondary school. He will tell you, keep your mouth like this. You are insulting my God. Church is going on and you are making no insulting my God. Flog on your lips will swear. That was the every so. But when we come for assembly, then when we come for combined assembly, our school was a separate school in a mixed building. So it is boys and girls, but boys run their teams different, girls run their teams different. Girls' classes are different from boys' classes. It's not people are expelled. In my secondary school, we come like these people, even opposite. You know, they even think there is no disciplinary committee. From here, you can't carry your team. So when we come for combined assembly, it's your opportunity. When you come for combined assembly, it's in combined assemblies they used to make. They will bring you out on offense and flog you. Now if they bring you out on offense, your fellow SS2 girls or SS1 girls or SS3, you cannot rub it. Form you disgrace your generation. That's what I'm saying. No matter You have to stand. And that's what we call chest. If you don't shake, they will hail you as senior man. They flog you 12. The thing they pay you on the chest. You understand? And the reason why you are chesting it is because of girls when they look you. Your classmate girls when they did. Now when you leave the assembly and enter within your guys, you now want to rub it. You understand? But the cry, sometimes the cry don't dey here. The cry dey here, but the cry cannot come out because you're a senior man. Then when you enter between your SS2 and SS3 guys, or no matter the class you are, but you just enter the assembly and everybody start telling you, sorry, 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 yeah, sorry. The cry is coming, but you will still hold on because people are looking at you. So you go chest, you'll still be chesting the cry and be swallowing air. You know how they used to do that time, you swallow air. And chest cry. Then you're just waiting. When one SS2 student is now walking carelessly and matching. No, you're not matching me like this. Are you not saying that you don't be matching people anyhow? That whole cry, you know this, the cry you are crying is not the matching. Now the cane when they flog you, they make you cry. But because the cup don't full at that time, anybody that steals the cup will receive the full anger. And that's the way people behave. Alright? People store up offense, and it kills relationship. They store. Something happened in 2019, you keep it inside the area of your brain. 2020, you keep it. 2021, you keep it. Then in December 2022, it will be something very minute that the person will do. Then you unleash the dragon and release everything that happened in 1999. Our response to people must be timely. Alright? Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Let's keep clapping. Thank you. In fact, who learned a lot from today's seminar? He talked about vertical, horizontal, and downward. And you must know that you have to honor your vertical, you have to respect your horizontal, and you have to show kindness to your downward people. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for giving us value today. And I want to appreciate everybody. In fact, I'm sure that today alone, we have young and purposeful people here. Do you agree with me? Yes. With the knowledge you've gotten, are you now young and purposeful? I want to hear you now. Are you now young and purposeful? Yes. All right. I'm happy you learned a lot. In fact, I didn't want him to finish, but we have to go. We're going to go into questions and answers. I didn't want each speaker, after speaking, then we ask questions. I wanted all of them to run down their sections, and then we ask questions. So I've been seeing people writing, and I'm sure you have tons and tons of questions, right? So it's time for, now I'm going to calm down. It's time for questions and answers. And before we start that, I forgot to tell you that he founded a group called Bibliomaniacs. Yes, it's a book that helps people to learn how to read. Like it helps you cultivate your reading ability. And the book is on WhatsApp. If you want to join that group after the seminar, just come and meet me. So it's time for question and answers. Who have questions? Okay, I'm going to just take numbers and then we start. So if you have questions, please just raise up your hand, and then I would. Okay, let him start, and then we'll continue.
When the first speaker was speaking, he said that if you imitate, when you imitate someone, you are limiting yourself. That was one of the things he said. But I know that I was told also that when you imitate someone who is advancing, someone who is increasing in what he's doing, that is a good way to step up. So I would like the comparisons so that we can balance that.
All right. Over to this sir.
All right. Yes, I did say that. Then at the end, I talked about mentorship too. That was the balance. Now there are imitations that lead to limitations. Imitating things that is not in line with your purpose will limit you. But imitating things that is in line with your purpose will advance you. That's the place of mentorship. I think that's.
Thank you so much, sir. Just as we earlier on we talked about, I gave an example of a young person. He was barely 15, who was imitating Tony, and at the end of the day, he got a scholarship. He's now a staff of UBA, even though he hasn't graduated from school, and he's earning in the same amount as other staffs. So that's a good imitation. Any other question? Like our students, you perfectly understood everything. They said that, okay, we have a question.
When you said explore your passion, what if you can't explore your passion? Because with the person instead, how to go about it?
Please, can you repeat your question? That's for. Okay, that's for you.
When you said explore your passion, what if you can't explore your passions in various ways instead? What ways are you also going to explore them?
Okay, I actually don't know what the passion is. Like my brother was just explaining, there are some passion that may be too expensive. I mean, it's not reachable. Maybe something that is out of the blue. The truth is, when you have a passion for the fact it is a passion, it's a seed that is there, a burden that won't go away. Now you nurture it. There is always a way, nature has a way of bringing expression to that. It may not be a visible something in your present environment, but nature has a way of bringing you to a place of fulfillment if that passion is something that must be expressed. Nature has a way of creating a balance. It may not be something that is, take for instance, somebody have a dream, and okay, let me go in line with this. You want to be a footballer. Now, looking at your environment, there is no team that accommodates young chaps like your size and all that. But that has been the passion you have. And but your environment is not supporting that dream. As long as you nurture that passion, you don't kill it. It may be that in that your environment, some things can move you away from that environment. Let's say you get an ambition and you leave that environment. And finally, you just showcase your talent in one place. They say, that's it. I think this person is good. And then that's it. That passion will find expression. Nature has a way of making all things work together. All right.
All right. We have one on the mic.
Hello. I feel that if you have a passion and at that moment it is not at your reach or it is not realizable at that moment, then you need to walk through it. And how do you walk through it? You have to gather information. You need to gather. If it has to do with watching videos, you have to watch videos. If it has to do with reading books, you just have to read books. By doing that, you are gathering information such that when you want to enter into the field, you're not entering into that passion as a novice, but you're now entering as one that has gathered some strength to deliver. I think that should answer better.
Thank you so much, sirs. I was talking to someone the other day, and this person is a wonderful reader. He can read 10 books in a month. I'm not exaggerating. He can read 10 books and tell you about the books. And I told the person, I said, yes, he might be limited not to have money to maybe get books, or even author a book, because that can be his life goal. That can be something he wants to do. He wants to become a writer. Now, one thing, I told you one thing he can do. Give reviews on the books you've read, or on the books you've read. Sometimes you might not be able to, because your dream is expensive, you might not be able to get a hold of it, but it can locate you. So it is possible to give reviews on that book you've read. Tag the author. The person will find you. When you always tag the author,
others will even call you to come and review them.
To come and review their books. Why? Because you give a summary of the book, you give a review of the book, and you give lessons learned. And what you felt the author should have done better. An edition. And then the person will locate you. So sometimes your passion might not be you might not be able to exploit it at that time. But you can create visibility to drag people that will explore your passion for
break
you.
it down in smaller.
Yes, or break it down in small ends. Are we able to answer your question? Thank you very much. Any other question? All right.
Self-confidence makes you more beautiful. Physical beauty or emotional beauty.
No,
all the beauty, both physical and emotional. No, did I say emotional? Something you really. Why do I say both physical? There is, you know what slouching means? Well, I'm trying to see the person I'm talking to. Do you know what slouch? Do you know what slouch like? When you're walking and you're all face down and you're not, or you see, no, yes, no, the way you carry yourself. No, self-confident. You have a good posture because you love who you spoke about love, and it gives you a carriage. So that's external beauty. Do you understand me? It makes you walk in a way that makes you proud of who you are. So that's external beauty. Then internal beauty radiates from inside. When you're self-confident, you're usually positive. That's an internal beauty. So it's both ways, both physical, and you smile a lot. You're self-confident. Why would you be frowning? That's an external beauty. Like your smile is beautiful.
all right. Okay, now more hands are coming up. Okay. You want to add more? Wow.
What she meant by self-confidence will make you look beautiful. She uses it like beautiful on the face. Like if a Nigerian wants to travel abroad, and like our Nigerians that wants to buy 2025, they used to dress like the people in Dubai. You should confident that you should dress like the people in Nigeria. She meant you'll be more respected as a Nigerian. I think that's what she meant. You'll be more respected.
I am moved. I am actually beautiful. Having said I am very, very beautiful. Very, very. In fact, confidence helps you. I can remember when I was in secondary school. While I was in secondary school, in fact, the last speaker said, you could not believe his results. Me, I could not believe my brain. I couldn't believe what my brain was producing. But then, at some point, I got depressed. You know one thing about lack of confidence? It can lead you to depression. It can lead you to a place, a deserted place in your mind, in your head. And I noticed that I was just fading up and down. I was just fading up and down. And then I told myself, when I came out of secondary school, I said, no, this is not me. When I was in primary school, I was very brilliant. I was given a double promotion. So how can someone that was given a double promotion be at the it? When the person's results come out, the person is taking first from back. started feeding myself with that information, I started acting like it. And then my first semester results, oh my God. Oh my God. My classmates in secondary school couldn't believe. And that is one thing about being confident of yourself. So I don't know if there's any other question. Any other question? All right. We have a group on Facebook called Right Minds Africa. It's a group where we also interact. We have discussions like this. Help us grow, because this might not be enough. They have given you the information, but you need something that will keep you in check. And that group is to keep you in check. I have a YouTube channel called The Big Vibes, where we also release content on this personal development and relationship building. I'm sure you all enjoyed this seminar. Please, if you enjoyed this seminar, appreciate our speakers. Appreciate them. Do you know that I've paid money to get this kind of information? You've paid money to get, and more. There is a leadership training school that you pay 2 million, you pay 4 million to get this. It's the same thing they are telling you. When you go there, it's practically the same information they will give you. But one thing about information is how do you use it afterwards. It is not about purpose discovery. He has given you he has told you how you can discover your purpose. You have to do it yourself. You have to understand yourself. And that's why tomorrow we are going to be talking about personal investment and leadership. Because we are raising prominent minds here. You know, these are going to be our leaders of tomorrow. We are going to become leaders in that field we aspire to be. When you check the social media, you go on TikTok, you see people who want to be actors, they are called actors. There is no word like actresses. They are called actors. Now you see them, they start doing this monologue kind of thing, where they act, they show emotions. And then from there, they are being called to act movies. Because they've discovered that this is a part of me. It might not be doctor, it might not be lawyer, it might be something that stands you out. Your purpose is your uniqueness. It's something that speaks for you. Because anybody can be a doctor, but it takes one to be a significant person. That when people want a doctor, there are doctors, but I want this doctor. Because you've stood out. And that is why there are different writers. There are doctors, but in my secondary school group, there have been nurses in that group. But there is a particular nurse. In fact, she's lower. She's still in school. But every morning, she drops what will make your life better. She drops a fruit you need to take in a day. And then someone would have a headache. Somebody will be having issues, serious issues, but they will go and call praise. She has not achieved. She doesn't have that knowledge. Sometimes she'll message me and she'll be like, I don't have this knowledge in this area that this person has. But you've exposed yourself. You've given yourself that. And she has to improve. Because a lot of people are beckoning on her now. She has paid the way, and trust me, if she finish well, she will get a good job. She has made a name for herself. So tomorrow we are going to be talking about personal investment and leadership skills. And I trust it that you will see your faces again. Thank you very much for being in attendance. We appreciate you. Please appreciate yourself. Appreciate the beautiful you. Please appreciate yourself. Thank you very much. We've come to the end of this seminar. It's time for picture. Because we want to take pictures with you people. You are looking beautiful. All right, please. Appreciating the teacher, we also want to hear what they have to say on the seminar.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Please clap.
Give teacher with the floor.
You are not wrong, but I'm repenting. Truly, The tag of this program is Right Mind Africa, and of course our minds here are right.
Yeah.
And I've been made more right than when we came in. Honestly, I think my experience has been impactful. Personally, I've got a think I'm taking a sermon, pages of jotting, and this honestly has been so touching. Thank you very much, Ma, for organizing this program. Young and purposeful, I think 1.0. I hope to see 100.0. And 1,001 million and more, please. Welcome. And to the speakers, honestly, you've done a good work. You've done a good work. You spoke confidently, and you made us believe what you say. And honestly, we do believe it. And we want to do that again. And I hope that everyone will not just listen to them, but also see the way they can apply all of these tips to our daily lives to make our lives better. Thank you very much.
Yes, just like enjoying the program. I was even telling my colleagues that I wish all the students were here. Just we need them to hear all this. So many of them, they know what I'm saying, that's why they're laughing. So many, they're sure they need to be here to hear all this. Thank you very much. This is what paying for, but you need it free. We are grateful. And next time we come.
Yeah, I want to say something. Like they told us that we should not underestimate ourselves, but please and please, I beg of you, we should not underestimate people too. As we don't want to be underestimated, so please, we should not underestimate ourselves.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I love the remarks. I'm glad. In fact, next year will be better than this. You know that we don't give you refreshment. This we only get them. Don't worry, very soon. Because we have seen this guy. And the one that like food. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I will do better next time. Thank you very much. And we've come to the end of the seminar. Please, let's just take some pictures. Thank you very much.
Can I? Oh, thank you.